That's awesome, dude. And then you guys moved across the street, right? And that's where you're at now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, next to the old coaches and Enterprise. But yeah, it's a weird space because you drive in, it looks really small. And you walk in, you're like, whoa,
this is big.
Yeah, this is a good amount of space.
And you guys just remodeled not too long ago.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago.
Yeah, we're kind of complete opposite of like old school CrossFit where it's like grungy and, spray paint name all over the wall. We wanted a really clean look, real clean facility. And, that's important to us because, we want it to be the nicest gym or nicest CrossFit gym in the area.
Yeah, you're saying you take pride in, if someone's going to be paying, over $150 a month for their membership, it's like you want them to feel like it's worth every penny and that you guys take it serious too. So I commend you guys a ton for that. And it's, like I said, it always comes through with the membership. The culture is just so great there. Yeah. You recently are starting a new class format, right?
Yeah.
And it's called Sweat.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So we're really excited about this. One, that our programs will be cohesive. Our space is pretty unique. We have two sides. One's a little bit smaller than the main CrossFit side. But Sweat from an operational capacity we're able to house 20, 24 people. Preferably I want it at like 12 to 15 every class because I think that's important. But it's very different. It's there's a lot of tempo work, a lot of like unilateral or contralateral movement with like rotation and like Bulgarian squats with tempo. It's all dumbbell, kettlebell, so there's no barbell. We've completely taken that out.
For our listeners, TJ, explain to us what does that mean in the sense of these unilateral movements and so forth. How does that differ from what you're used to?
Well, so think about like always doing squats, and you're using both legs or both extremities. What we're trying to do is eliminate any symmetry issues that people might have. A good example is like we have this girl and she was a horseback rider all growing up. And like, before I even knew that, I could see because she had completely turned her one leg differently. And so I started talking to her and we started getting into the why of that. And she was like, well, that's the leg I throw over the horse every time. And it was crazy that you could see such a drastic difference in strength and the way she rotated her foot out. And so this program that we've implemented is very much functional bodybuilding, but it's corrective by design, with an emphasis in conditioning. Mm-hmm. Like these workouts are still really hard. But it's an unbelievable class. I was telling Kyle, it's so different from CrossFit. We were like, all right, what's the rep scheme? What do I got to get done as fast as I can? It's like, no, it's like, you're just going to move really well for an extended period of time. Right. And you're not going to think about, you're not counting reps. You're just going and you're counting like how well you're doing it.
Correct.
Right. And so
are these heart rate monitored classes?
We actually have heart rate monitors on both sides.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something that we do, which when we implemented that about a year and a half ago is pretty cool because people look up and they're like, oh, shit, I'm not working as hard as I feel like I'm working. Right. And they'll pick it up. Yeah. But yeah, Sweat's, similar to like kind of the flow of like an Orange Theory, where you go in and you're gonna get on some monostructural machines like a Concept 2 rower or a skier or a bike, or you're just gonna go out and run. But then we're gonna bring you in with some single arm presses and some single leg stuff, but very much in a corrective format.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. I mean, so you mentioned the website earlier. For our listeners that are interested in that, could they get on? And you said it's 2 free classes right off the bat like that?
Yeah. Would love to have people come in there because it's one of those things right now. It's so new that the classes are a little bit small, which is good because they're getting really like a lot of great attention. Right? But the more people in there, you know how it is. Those bigger classes are a little bit more fun from an energy standpoint. So it'll be awesome to see that program grow. And the cool thing about our membership is you'll have access to both, which, in the fitness world, and I'm sure you guys can allude to this, like people get burnt out of what they're doing. Like that just happens. Like they're going to this gym, they're doing the same thing over and over and over. They get burnt out. And so we wanted to create a concept as almost like a pendulum swing where it was like, okay, I've been doing CrossFit for X amount of time and man, I'm just getting kind of burnt out of these workouts. Well, awesome. Swing over to the other side, get a completely different kind of modality in fitness where you can just kind of take your mind off it, do that for a long time. And you're like, hey, I'm getting bored of this. Go back and get back to that intensity. So
that's cool. And that membership, you can do both?
Yeah. So we have just basic memberships. We have an unlimited, we have 12 times a month, 8 times a month. So it's like, what are you willing to commit to?
Sure.
You'll have access to both. And then we have some open gym and eventually we'll have 24/7 access to. So,
oh, very cool.
Yeah. So
what's your opinion on what the future of CrossFit looks like?
Whew,
from
loaded.
A business standpoint, and then also, I guess, from like a a competitive standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, it's very much a professional sport now. The sport of CrossFit, to me, and I'm biased, obviously, guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I think CrossFit is the best modality of fitness out there. I feel like it brings in all the best elements of other people's sports. And collaborates them in a way that essentially you become good at everything rather than just great at one thing. It's like we specialize and not specializing. And I think that's important because if we look at this, like you're going to use these tools outside of here. It's like if anything came up, outside, maybe our members are in Colorado and they're hiking and something comes up, like they're going to have the ability to do anything that they need to survive. Mm-hmm. And so like, that's how I look at it. It's like, with CrossFit, they're going to be able to, move logs and run and have all those, 10 skills, those GP skills, right? So I love it. I will always continue to do it. But the reason we rebranded to Kansas Athletic Club is we would not be ever tied into if CrossFit ever gets political or religious or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's part of the main reason why we always wanted to be in control of our own brand.
Totally.
Yeah, it seems like the whole CrossFit at some point, it seems like they need to make a decision to be an all the way, professional affiliate, like have all the way professional, people on it and kind of be more like an NFL type of an organization, or they need to, well, I guess they could just stay the way that they are now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the next step is they really need to make a decision to be all the way professional.
Well, dude, they tried that with Grid League, didn't they, Kyle? I mean, like the Grid League was them trying to make CrossFit a professional sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is it needs to come from CrossFit.
Yeah,
I'm with you. And
Grid's kind of like the XFL, which is cool because some of the movements in there. Have you watched Grid League stuff?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're just like, what are they doing?
yeah. Is it still going?
They're like burpee backflips. You got to do 10 of them, and then you got to go do. I mean, dude, they got some wild stuff.
Is it still going?
But what I'm saying,
is it a thing?
I don't know.
I thought it was gone after like 1 year.
I'm sure someone's out there doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
I would say if. As a company, I feel like CrossFit could do a better job of separating the two. Because it's like, I'm never going to that gym. Like, you guys don't even know what we do. You think I'm going to have you up there hitting 500-pound jerks? Like, no, that's not what we know. We're going to work on jerks, but like, that's not it.
That's the number one thing when I talk to people. I'm like, you understand what scaling is? Because everything is scalable. Yeah, and it's like, and if you go to the right gym, the right coach is going to be like, hey, man, we're going to switch this out to this for you. Yeah. And then we're going to have you stay after class and we're going to work on these things because these things are going to get you to the point where you're able to do a pull-up for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think, like you were saying, I really appreciate CrossFit too from that standpoint because I came from just probably like you, a meathead background, curls, bench
Mondays.
Squat. You know what I'm saying? And CrossFit still has all of those things in it, but it also forces you to do things that I would never do, or I'd never in a past life wouldn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Work on gymnastic stuff, work on conditioning.
Those are just the days you don't go to class, though. You know, that's how so many.
Is that what you did?
That's how so many people do it, though. It's just funny. Like, I'll always show up for bench day, though. You know,
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing your gym's kind of like ours, where it's like. It's almost like a point of pride that people show up on the days that they, where you're working on shit that you suck at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not good at toes to bar. All the guys that I train with, the group of people I train with, know I suck at toes to bar, and they're always giving me shit. They're like, "Oh, it's your day today, man." 150 toes to bar, for time with this. It's just one of those things where it's like, you got to show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. You should never worry about it because like if you look at it like. from a life perspective, like you never know what life's going to throw at you. You should be ready for it though.
Yeah.
So
I think that's cool, man. Are you guys still doing kid stuff too, as far as kids programming of any sort?
We've tossed out the idea. Kids are tough, man, because they're in so much shit, like sports all year round. It's like when you gap that, like you have like 6-week programs that you do off season training. So we've thrown the idea of doing some like off season stuff this winter, but not too much kid stuff.
As far as the like when you're doing the off season programming or them being a part of a sport or whatever, is there ways to because here's the thing I've noticed recently. We had Melissa Gilmore on here, who's a friend of ours, and she started there's a new franchise out called Kid Strong. Are you familiar with it at all? Yeah, man, it's called Kid Strong, and it's I love the idea because it's just one of those things where fitness is not something that you talk about as a kid. You don't even start anything fitness typically until you get into a sport in high school. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's an intimidating place for a lot of people, right? Yeah. That by then, especially if you've had people who've been doing it for a long time, right?
Right.
And so it's just something cool that I think it's cool that you guys do that. I know that you're going to continue to, but it's just, if we could normalize kids being in a gym, it would make it a lot less intimidating place for people when they become adults.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird where else do people not go anymore because it's intimidating? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like as an adult, it's like, where else are you afraid to go to? It's not very common, right. Like you're not really afraid to walk in anywhere, but it's still incredible to me that there's, full grown adults that won't go into a gym purely because of how scary it feels to them.
Yeah.
Wild.
No, I think that's a cool concept that she came up with.
Yeah, it's in Kid Strong. There's one in Blue Springs now. Theirs is in Olathe, but yeah, it's something to look into. I don't genuinely know how they do the programming there, but it'd be interesting to see, how that coincides with how you guys were doing things whenever you first started that at Meshuggah.
Yeah, you'll have to connect me with her and pick her brain a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, I'm sure Kyle with your kids, like my kids are always going to see me working out.
Yeah.
Because, that's so important to me. And they don't give a shit what you say, but they will follow you what you do. It's like those actions, and they keep seeing you do something repetitively. They're going to pick that up. It's going to be important to them. Like my mom always worked out. Like I always saw my mom working out. In fact, she met my stepdad after my dad had passed away. They met at a gym. So it's like, okay, cool. That's where Jess and I met. So it's one of those things that I picked up going to the gym with her, and, I held on to that.
That's cool, man.
And she still makes it important. She still goes on walks and does those things.
What's the next step for you guys now as far as getting Sweat on track, if you will, and getting it growing that program? But what does the future hold for Kansas Athletic Club? Because again, you guys have been around for so long.
Yeah.
Are you having fun with it still, or is it something where you're getting a little burnt and you want to start changing things just for the sake of changing them to make it new and different? Or
yeah, I feel like people in all their careers, they find a point where they start to get burnt out a little bit. But, one of the things that I've been blessed with is those days that I start to feel like I'm getting burnt out, and I just look around and see all those people that are in there, and it's like, wow, you created this. It's like, wow, it like gets me fired up. It's just something I'm just like, I take with a lot of pride. So, the future for Kansas Athletic Club, we just shifted. We've changed our motto, our core value, which is life without limitations.
I love that.
And so we wanted to, we're really kind of making that space where we have Pat's in there. He's doing physical therapy. So we do, corrective. Jamie Kinsey's in there. She's going to be running our nutrition program. So we have Elevate Nutrition. I'm just building out the website, so I'll have to shoot you guys that once I get it done. So nutrition is going to be huge, which is, if you look at from the CrossFit modality, it's like the main thing.
It's the base.
It's the base of our pyramid. It's like, God, we've done a shitty job. I've eaten Chipotle every day for my, last 10 years. Yeah. Like throwing a vegetable here and there. So, nutrition is going to be really important. And that starts with us at the top, right? So it's like, I need to get my nutrition, because I can't tell them to do something if I'm not doing it either. Yeah. That's not how we roll.
We're getting older. We can't just work off a bad diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you ain't not working it. And so the future of Kansas Athletic Club is I want it to be a one-stop shop where people can come in, and it's, if they have injury, cool, we're going to help solve that. If they have, nutritional issues of, they need to eat more protein and do all those things, cool, we're going to help solve that. If they want to move functionally for the rest of their life and they don't want to snatch, cool, we can solve that with Sweat. If they want to, get a little competitive and throw around some weight, cool, we have that. And so that's where we're taking this, and we want to structure it out so we can make it repeatable and we can go plug it into different spots, and
it's a one-stop shop. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like we were saying, if if you have this amazing community where everybody's already a fan of how you guys are doing things, it's only the more people show up and come, the more I think that they're going to want to be a part of it.
Yeah. That's been the hardest thing we've overcome and that's why I said about CrossFit. I was like, they could do a better job of separating, because some people are like, I have no interest in doing CrossFit. I'm like, you've never even tried it.
Yeah.
You've never even came in and gave it a shot, because I think you would really like it.
Yeah.
I can't deny, like, dude, the way that, when you're hearing somebody who's extremely excited about CrossFit, typically they always want to tell you how hard it was because they're so proud of what they've accomplished with doing it. And so, like, I remember I was a little kid and I was afraid to play football as like an elementary school kid, right? I was like 3rd, 4th grade, and all the friends that played football, they would always tell you like how grueling the conditioning was in practice and how grueling, these hits were that they were getting and so forth. And you're just like, well, that doesn't sell me on wanting to do this at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny how it works. And so it's, I feel like sometimes the word of mouth for places that can come across intimidating is just because people overcame a lot, and that's what makes them feel so good. And they don't recognize that that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
When I finally did play football, it was the best thing ever for me. I couldn't loved it more, but it was just funny as a little kid, you're like scaring yourself. And I think adults fall into that same trap. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they show up and the guy that has like been doing it, for the last 5 years is just like, slinging together muscle ups, and you're like, okay, I can't even do a pull up yet. What am I doing here? You know? So it's funny how it works out like that.
Yeah. No, I think, especially within the group environment, I don't know how people work out by themselves like that. That's beyond me at this point.
I can do conditioning by myself, but if it's like something heavy or sucky, it's really hard to do it by yourself.
Yeah, but man, it's like having those people around you. It's like that's your like squad. It's like it's like kind of football. It's like that camaraderie that comes with the people that you work out with. So environment makes a huge difference.
For sure. Dude, talk to us. So you're also affiliated with a brand called Push Press. Mm-hmm. Talk to us how you became affiliated with them and what they do, and then what your future is with them, and maybe the future of the company too.
Well, you're telling me how you guys went from 8. You were the 8th employee, and now there's 95 employees.
Yeah, it's
growing quite a bit.
Yeah, it's incredible. So Push Press is a gym management software. We have a kind of a whole suite of products. So we do like core management, which is like, your billing, your scheduling, members apps, stuff like that. We do workout tracking. So we have an app called Train, which allows, our clients to keep track of their scores or keep track of their numbers. One of the things that's unique with our workout tracking is you can really kind of deliver to 3 buckets. You can do like your 1-to-1. So, Pat, who's doing physical therapy out of our gym, he'll do like programming for his clients in that app that our classes are using. Yeah. So it can differentiate if they're a personal training client versus if they're in just our group classes. And then you can also deliver like templates or plans so people can purchase something like, 6-week Couch to CrossFit, and they don't even have to be a member. They can follow programs at their house, and it can be more of like a lead gen.
Sure.
So we have that. And then we do, we have a product called Grow, which is website and CRM. It's awesome. It's,
what's CRM for our listeners?
So it's like a customer retention management system. It automates my whole day. Mm-hmm. It's sending out text messages, emails. It's, keeping leads warm for us, but really give us the best shot to get them into the door. And we feel like if we can get them in the door, they're going to stick. So that's a really powerful tool for gym owners, because gym owners wear a lot of hats. People realize they probably do gym math. They're like, oh my gosh, Kansas Athletic Club's got 250 or 300 members at $160. TJ's probably rich as hell. No, we pay a shit ton in rent, and I'm cleaning bathrooms.
People
and I'm
don't understand
floor.
overhead.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. How much is one of those squat racks again? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you want to know why I get so mad when you drop that barbell with no weight on it? Yeah. So
the 10-pound plates on there.
Yeah, snap. Ooh. Yeah. So, but one of the main things that I was really fortunate to become part of Push Press was because it's scalable, right? For me, it's like, okay, I can help, our community, but only into our operational capacity. Like how many people can Kansas Athletic Club truly fit in a day? And it's like, okay, now I'm helping gym owners around the world. I talk to people in Australia, Germany, Italy, Canada, all these places, and I'm helping them get set up to help their communities. Yeah. And so my why aligns with both things that I'm doing, because now I'm just scaling it and I'm helping other communities around the world, create a place where people can go in and get themselves out of those depression ruts or get themselves off the drugs and have that happy place and it be delivered really well for that gym owner.
That's cool, man. That skill set is something that I feel like you've probably had to evolve and teach yourself along the way. You know what I mean? As far as like that's a form of sales, is that not right?
Yeah. So I guess my title would be I'm the director of sales at Push Press. So we have an amazing team around us, and do
you guys got some cool clients that you have? Like,
yeah.
Who all do you guys have?
We have, like New England CrossFit. So
that's cool.
CompTrain.
Yeah, CompTrain. Ben Bergeron.
Yeah. So I mean, we have, there's just like, it's not just CrossFit though. We have like a whole spectrum of like other gyms and what I do on a day-to-day basis is I'll jump on a Zoom share with them and figure out what systems they're currently using, what's their pain points, and I just kind of help them solve those problems with which I think we have. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think we have the best system out. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool just to meet gym owners and shoot shit with them and hear their stories.
It's so easy in this sense because, I mean, these are all authentic struggles that you've already gone through as a gym owner.
Yeah.
And you're like, we've already solved these problems.
Really
yeah.
Like, I have this, I'm a gym owner too. So it's easy for me to relate to.
Well, it's not like I'm not just selling them on something. Yeah. I'm like, I'm fucking using it every day. Like I'm in the trenches with you. And so it's awesome. Cool. Push Press is great. Kind of how it all happened was Nick Reyes at the time was my business partner. We had all qualified. We had several teams go up to Granite Games, which is like a big CrossFit competition up in St. Cloud, Minnesota at the time. And we were all, doing our competition up there, and he had met the original ownership team because they had just started. And so he got their contact information and you would have to have Nick tell the story, but he, eventually jumped on there and started helping them with sales. And I didn't think they were paying him at the time. That's how small it was. And he was just like doing it to help. And then, now fast forward now, he's the chief revenue officer for Push Press. But he had asked me if I would be interested in working for him. And if you guys know me, I hate talking on the phone. And I really hate talking to people just on an individual basis in the sense of like, it feels like elevator talk unless I know you.
Yeah. You don't want any of that surface level stuff.
No, I'm terrible at it. And so it was like a lot of self-development that had to take place for me to get to where I am, 4 or 5 years later, because that's all I do is talk to people on an individual basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick, I brought Nick on the team for Kansas Athletic Club and then he kind of paid it forward, later on and brought me onto the Push Press team. And so I think I was like number 8 and now we've grown so much. It's incredible.
I'm so excited for you guys, man. That's pretty cool, dude. It's just an awesome opportunity. And it's great to be able to, try. I'm sure you guys are doing a lot of trial runs.
Yourself a little bit.
Yeah, but you can try all these things with your gym. Obviously, if there's anything like a new thing you want to add to the suite of Push Press, it's like, well, let's apply it here first and work out all the and so forth.
Yeah. So, God bless our members. They get all this stuff when it's not working, and then, but it's okay. They understand.
On the development side of things, man. What I was going to ask is, you're in a spot where, you have a lot of different hats that you have to wear now, right? Mm-hmm. Husband, dad, gym owner, coach. Are you still coaching day to day at Kansas Athletic Club?
Yep.
And then doing the director of sales on top of it.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
A lot of Bang energy drinks.
Well, appreciate you having the time to come out here. Yeah, talking to us. Dude, did you guys hear they were like, they declared bankruptcy yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bang did?
Yes.
How does that even happen?
Some Florida lawsuits, apparently.
Holy shit, man. I mean, dude, they have a full section in Quick Trip.
Yeah.
You would think
they have their own, they have their own fridge door.
Yeah, that'd be impossible for that to happen.
I didn't read the whole article, but I think they're like
not a lot of margins.
The organization.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine in some way, shape, or form. Hertz Rent-A-Car is still here, so they can still stick around, I guess. We talk about we already talked about Chiefs, but I want to hear on a this is more direct as far as personal growth. And you've done, like you said, you had to do this over the last 4 or 5 years as far as getting yourself better with talking on the phone and being more direct with people and having to talk on these one-on-one situations. Have you, for your own personal development, are you a book guy? Are you a podcast guy? Where do you like to do things as far as you sharpen your skills?
I think people are missing out on opportunity when driving not to be listening to books. Like that is something that I've made an absolute habit, and I probably listen to 75 books a year on like audiobooks. And I feel like it's such an awesome opportunity to be learning something. And I feel like if I'm driving and I'm not learning, I'm doing a disservice to myself.
And you're missing out on an opportunity.
Yeah. And so like it could be a whole plethora of different books, but I want to be, it's almost kind of like CrossFit. Right? I want to be kind of good at everything. I want to know at least a little bit about everything to make myself at least a little bit dangerous in it. And I think you should never stop learning.
For our listeners, what would be the one that you feel like has been like the most impactful?
What's your favorite
for you?
book?
Yeah, just the most impactful over the last few years.
Oh man, I've read some really good books. A lot of people will say this, but Atomic Habits was really good.
Yeah. And we talk about Atomic Habits.
One of Jeff's favorites.
Yeah, by James Clear.
I used to be a miserable fuck by John Kim.
Oh, I never heard that one. I used to be a miserable fuck.
Yeah. Go read it or go listen to it. It's awesome.
What's the basis of that?
It's basically like going through a lot of his struggles and like his divorce that he went through, but it's like becoming like a man. Like, you'll have to listen to it. Yeah, it's like finding purpose. And one of the things that I took from it, was like, it's called walking with mirrors. It's like when you enter a room, like what kind of presence or what kind of vibes are you putting off? Are you like grumpy? It's like you guys probably know people that walk into the room and are like, God, fuck, he's here again, or she's here. God, she's such an asshole all the time.
Energy vampires.
Yeah, energy vampires. And one of the things that I have to do a lot of the times, especially if like on days that I don't want to coach, I walk in there, I'm like, man, these people pay me a lot of money to get a good service, and I'm going to walk in there and be a dickhead. Like, no, fuck that. Walk with mirrors, see like how you're holding yourself up, how you're presenting yourself, and walk in there and go give them the best hour of their day. Right.
Yeah. And you'll feel 10 times better afterwards.
Yeah. And so, that was one of the concepts. Another one was, I actually have the hummingbird on the back of my arm on my tattoo, but it was just seeking nectar in your day. It's like, I struggle with anxiety. I'm always constantly, what's next? What's next? What's next? What do we got to do to get there? Sure. So I'm living in the future all the time. And it's like, man, fucking enjoy today.
Learn to be present.
Learning to be present, learning to be, sitting here and like being really appreciative that you guys gave me the opportunity to come talk to you guys. Like, I appreciate that. And so this is like the nectar of my day is I got to see you guys again. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Yeah. And so I try to, walk with mirrors. And I try to seek something good about each day. And a lot of those concepts were from, I used to be a miserable fuck.
Yeah, dude, those are great. Great concepts to apply to your life. And I think that it's difficult, if you're an achiever type person where you're always working towards something, which I can relate to, it's something that you're always wanting to be striving towards a goal. It makes it very difficult to be present or to be, content. Yeah. And I think that in business, content can really, really confuse people, especially young people, with complacency.
Yeah.
They don't recognize there's a very big difference between the two. How do you best, wrestle with that every day in the sense of how do I become content or be at peace while still striving for more in my day-to-day habits?
Go to therapy.
Yeah.
I started going to therapy about maybe a year or 2 years ago, and really with kind of the same things that people go to the gym for. They're seeking something. They want something. And I was like, man, I coach people to move really well. I was like, why not get a coach for someone to like make my brain work better?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like to talk to people and like just, I like to talk to my therapist and just kind of dump my shit on. And that feels good to me. That's like,
yeah, I've been in therapy for over a couple of years myself, and I would tell anybody, it's a situation where, just like in fitness, and it's so easy to relate to fitness, it's like, would you be better off if you were completely on your own, or would you be better off if you had a really great trainer?
Exactly.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could, guide your thoughts on your own and read books and second guess yourself and maybe overwhelm yourself with a lot of different options and a lot of different opportunities and create a lot of, mess in your head, or you could just talk to somebody that can actually help you.
Exactly.
And so, you can talk to your friends who are just going to agree with you, or that one friend that's really good that you try to avoid because they're going to tell you the truth, or you can talk to your therapist who will actually help you.
Yeah. There's a couple different quotes from people that basically ways of dealing with being, excited about the future, wanting, looking forward to the future, but also finding a way to be present. Andy Frisella, our old boss, he always used to say aggressive patience. So basically attack every day like it's, you got to freaking go balls to the wall today, but also understand that it takes time for the cake to bake. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not going to happen overnight, but you need to be attacking the days like, it is going to happen overnight. And then for CrossFit people, Noah Olson, happy but hungry. Yeah. He's got that saying, or hungry but happy. It might be that way. Happy but hungry. Happy but hungry. But basically he's saying like, hey, I'm happy, but like I'm still trying to be better every single day.
Right.
Because it is hard to balance those two things. It's hard to be present and appreciate life, today, when you're always striving to be better, and so that's a good point, man. It's a good concept and something I think a lot of people have a problem with.
I know you guys like to work out in the morning. I mean, like I know that you like to get up early and usually get your workout in if you can. I mean, that changes once you guys have kids, but I think that goes along well with it because you can be present once you've done things that have made you feel like you've gotten 1% better that day.
Right.
You now filled your cup. You can now actually help pour into others. Right. Hard to do if you haven't done that for yourself yet.
Yeah.
What's your training look like recently?
I try to sneak it in when I can. Yeah. Like we talked about, like my schedule is pretty regimented. So, some days I got to just squeeze it in when I have, a 15-minute window. And I think, that's just what I have to do for now. And it's just a season. Yeah. At some point this will, pass through and I'll have a little bit more, I probably won't because I'll probably pick up some other shit to do. But no, I've been trying to jump into more classes when I can, like earlier morning classes, which I didn't always do classes. I would, work out like during the open gym time, and God, classes are fucking awesome. Yeah, I love it. I just absolutely love it. It's like testing out your product. It's like, okay, dude, cool, shit.
Stand in the back and sweat and just see how it goes.
Exactly. So
I'll do like other stuff, because we'll have, compete stuff, programmed, and I'll do that on the side with no one else but myself, and then I'll do the class, and it's like I always bust my ass way harder in the class.
Yeah, the intensity is just so much better. Yeah. So I've been jumping into classes and mixing both programs. So I've been doing some sweat and then some CrossFit, and I love it.
I love that, man. One of our so the one question we always have to ask all of our guests, and I know that you're gonna have a great answer.
Pressure.
No, I know you're gonna have a great answer.
Fuck this.
So everybody that comes on here, obviously Kansas City, we're known for barbecue here, and everybody's really got like a lightning rod kind of response typically, or reaction to other people's. But if you have, let's say, some family or friends visiting Kansas City, and they say, "Hey, you need to take me to the best Kansas City barbecue," where do you take them?
You guys are gonna hate me for this answer.
No, man, it's authentic. It's all I care about.
So honestly, Jess and I we both not big fans of barbecue. I know that's fucking crazy.
No,
it's actually not. It's like 50% of people we have on the podcast.
Yeah, so it's like I'm a steak and potato guy. Yeah. Like, give me some steak and potatoes, and I'm golden.
I can think of some barbecue spots with some great potatoes, TJ.
But if I had to choose, my mom makes literally the best brisket on the planet, and so I would
Mama
take some over to
Kiblen.
mom. So now that I'm living in my mom's basement while our house is being built, I'm getting a lot of home cooked meals. So I'm getting
psyched.
Fat, so.
Yeah, that must be awesome.
Is your mom ready for you to get out of there yet?
Oh, I'm sure.
Vice versa, where you're ready.
She's like the stereotypical mom. She'd probably wish we all all my brothers and sisters still lived at the house. Yeah. That's just how she is. She's got
to love being a grandma too, huh?
7 of us still there, but yeah, she's awesome. So yeah, she loves us being there. But I think Jess and I are ready and Coda are ready for our own space.
I get it, dude. I get it. So where are you getting a steak at then?
Gosh, oof.
You guys are going out to dinner. It's anniversay or something. Where are you going?
Stock Hill's good.
Oh, we love Stock Hill.
Stock Hill's classic.
My sister worked at, I think she's a chiropractor, but she still bartends down at Capital Grill just because
you make bank.
Some phenomenal money.
Yeah. So she's just stacking cash down there. But Capitol Grill's good, but man, Stock Hills.
Stock Hill, that's like our favorite. It's like a company favorite.
You don't even need a knife.
No.
Oh man, but Capitol Grill's got that. They got and I've ordered this at the bar actually. They have like a steak medallions and like lobster tails for like $50. It's just every day combo that it's like, man, a little surf and turf for $50. You're psyched.
Seafood makes me want to yak.
Are you serious?
Oh, I won't touch it.
Not even as
What?
Nothing as amazing as
flies, I don't eat it.
You don't like chicken?
Chicken doesn't fly. They can't fly.
It's a good point. All right, touche.
You're right. You're into ostrich, but not lobster.
Oh, ostrich is killer.
Well, hey man, we seriously appreciate your time. Thanks so much. I thought it was awesome.
Thanks, dude. It's been good seeing you.
Yeah, the nectar of your day thing I think is really cool, and appreciate you taking the time to come in and hang out with us for a bit. And I want you to at least let everybody know who's been listening. What's the best way to get a hold of you, and what's the best way to get a hold of the gym?
Yeah. Follow us on any of our social platforms. KS Athletic Club. You can obviously search that, or find us on Instagram or Facebook, and that's probably the best way to reach out to us. And it'll probably be automated because that's what I had built out. But,
the classes they can just get on the website.
Yes, go to the classes or go to the website. There's a link to book a free 2-class trial and come try it. You can't knock something if you've never done it.
Mm-hmm. And it's ksathleticclub.com. Is that right?
That's right.
Me and Jeff need to swing by there again. You can kick our ass.
Yeah, dude.
Come try that sweat class.
I'm all about it. We're going to bring our whole Overland Park staff too.
Yeah, let's go.
Turn it into a competition real fast.
That's awesome. And I appreciate what you guys do for the Kansas City area. You guys have an unbelievable thing going on, and we always talk about how you guys do customer service better than anyone I've ever met. So
thanks, man.
Dude, thank you, man. Yeah,
really, that's our number one focus, man.
Yeah, that's all our team now. It's not us, and so we have to give our team, all the credit there. But I think that's awesome. That I appreciate you guys seeing that. And if it's ever not the best you've ever seen, you please tell us.
Yeah.
Which you've helped us with before.
You have helped us.
It starts with the top. So you guys have done an amazing job. So
awesome, man. We love you, dude. Thanks so much for being on here.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, man.
Later.
See you guys next week.
Cool, dude.